Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I feel like puffy. My hair is puffy. I'm on a curly hair journey. It's definitely a journey. So if you have curly hair and if you have any tips, tricks, favorite products, let me know, especially for thin hair. Everything I've tried has just been. But anyway, this is a reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising. I almost said Venus, which, Libra is ruled by Venus. Interestingly enough, too, I use my little bowl to choose the order. I just stick my hand in there and pick out a few that I'm going to do for the day. And I chose both Libra and Taurus, which are both ruled by Venus. I don't know where Venus is in the sky right now. I should look. It's in Aries with everybody else. Excuse me. So Venus, let's see. It's sitting right on top. To the degree, 15 degrees. Sitting right on top of the North Node. Mercury's in retrograde, which is only 3 degrees away. Chiron is in there as well as the sun. So, does that matter? Maybe, but I think it's just interesting that it happened that way. Because what are the odds? Let's get you an oracle card, and then this is share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution expression. I was just thinking, before this card came out, I was wondering if you guys have been crying a lot, but I didn't say it because, I don't know, is it just me? I haven't been crying a lot. But I have been crying this morning, which is partly why I feel like I'm puffy. So it's interesting anyway that card comes out. And we have the Five of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles. That's quite the combo. Let's see, how many? Oh, that's 5 cards. Perfect. Is it? Oh, we only need 4 cards. Well, okay, I'm going to put, these cards didn't flip over, so I'm going to put those back. These 2 did. The Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, the World. Love that. Yeah. And the Magician. This was one of the cards that, there was 3 cards that didn't turn over before. Those are the ones that I put back in the deck, and one of them was the Magician. I don't know what the other 2 were, but... And then we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, the 4 of Wands, Knight of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, which I saw somewhere too. So I don't know, that might have been one of the ones. It doesn't matter. My point in even mentioning that is that if the card has a message for you, it will come back out. So let's read about this share your voice. This definitely has it says come out of your cave. This definitely has that vibe of okay, you read this. You look at this, I'll read from the book. You are being called to share your voice, perhaps by speaking up in a relationship or through writing, speaking, singing, or some other form of creative expression. We each hold a truth deep within us that longs to be expressed. Sculpted for lifetimes, the voice of your soul is like no other. It carries with it wisdom that can only be gained through soul history and growth. By remembering, tapping into, and expressing this unique tone, we not only heal ourselves, we also heal the planet at large. When you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and call a missing piece of you home. Your individual voice is the most powerful sound current on the planet. If you have kept your soul's voice silenced or held back, chanting or singing could be truly life-changing for you. As we shed the layers of our personality and start letting our unique soul speak through us, we discover that we actually have a very clear message that longs to be shared. The more we speak it, the clearer it gets. There has never been a better time in history than right now to rise up, speak your truth, and share your soul's voice. If you feel fearful, know that you are not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonize. As we each rise up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. I think it's cool too because a lot of these cards have blue in them. I'm not doing like the overhead view today, and I've only wished that I had the overhead view in like 2 other readings, and now you're the third, because there is a lot of blue just throughout these cards, and blue is throat chakra, right? So it's just interesting. Also too, like what I was feeling before and I didn't like finish my thought on is that it's like, where are you keeping yourself trapped but under the guise of like you have no choice? I mean, it's interesting because we don't have the 8 of Swords out here, but it feels very 8 of Swords, like, you know, feeling binded, or even in this card, you know, they're sitting in this cave. There doesn't really necessarily appear to be like a way out, but I'm sure there is in some capacity. But they might just be sitting there waiting for somebody to come save them, is basically like the bottom line of what I was trying to get to. And you know, there's a meme that I saw not too long ago. I probably didn't save it, but it was saying something along the lines of the only person that can save you is you, or if you're waiting for somebody to come save you, look in the mirror type of thing. I mean, it's basically like instead of looking outward, looking inward. So we start with the 5 of Cups. You know, I'm hesitating because the 5 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles came out together, and I immediately like got this feeling of putting them together instead of putting them side by side. And I didn't, because that's not, you know, that's not what I do. But it keeps like cycling through my head, but I'm also like, I'm trying to figure out, so if I did move the 9 of Pentacles down, the 5 of Cups here, the next card that came out was the Ace of Wands, and then the King of Wands, sorry. And then the World card, and then the Magician. I guess stay where they are. I don't know like how this changes the message, like, but that feels better. I feel less concerned about it. So let's just see what ends up happening as a result of this change. So that's also like one of those things about, because I can definitely be very rigid. Like I can definitely be, I don't know if that's like a sprinkle of OCD or what it is, but like I get into like my little routines, and it's like everything has to follow that like same pattern or whatever. So, and then it becomes hard for me to step outside of that, I think too, because like my ego kicks in and it's like, but as soon as I kind of, you know, I can recognize that my ego is freaking out, or, you know, whatever little gremlins live up in there, as Brene Brown calls them. And as soon as I like recognize that, then I can like sink down into my body, and I'm like, okay, does that feel good or not? You know, like I just ask myself, you know, in my head, does it feel good or not? And if it does feel good, we follow what feels good, right? Like, and it did feel good to change just those 3 cards, is all that I did. And And then it was like, well, would it feel good to keep it the way that it was? No, because this whole reading, I was probably going to be like, I should have changed it. Now it's too late. No, like we follow what feels good. We don't ask too many questions. So, finally, let's talk about the Five of Cups. Cups have to do with our emotions. This is one of the cards that I said has, blue in it. So it is interesting, that we start with a card that has blue tones, and the Oracle card was talking about speaking, using your voice, expressing yourself in whatever capacity that is for you. So, and cups have to do with your emotions. So, it's voicing, communicating our feelings. It's, how do we feel about our lives? How do we feel about ourselves? How do we feel about what we're doing? How do we feel about the people in our lives? What is our relationship to love? How do we receive it? How do we give it? And the Five of Cups, fives are transitionary energies. So they're a little tough to get through, but they're nothing to pitch a tent and get stuck in. So it's literally from getting us from point A to point B. And we can see with the Five of Cups here, I mean, there's kind of just this melancholy, kind of feel to it. The Five of Cups does speak about mourning, depression, grief. There's even this path back here. This could be a journey that you've been on for some time, or the end of said journey, and, a new journey is going to be embarking. Either way, though, if we're using the example of a journey that you've been on for some time, then it's like at this point, so there's 3 cups here that are already empty. And traditionally on the Five of Cups, there are 3 cups that have been turned over. There's 2 cups left. So it's interesting that on this card, there's 3 cups turned over. They are just in the process of spilling this 5th cup, and there's still 1 left. But the focus is on this one that's being spilled out. So there's clearly been a focus lately on, what you're lacking emotionally, or even, the grief process, mourning something. Even if that's just like the way that you thought your life was going to be at this point, or maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a loved one, maybe it's just life in general, And like I said, Venus is right on top of the North Node, which is right next to Chiron. So in Aries, which is your opposite sign, right? So there's definitely, which would be probably opposing your sun if you are a Libra sun, or it's opposing your ascendant. And if you have any, planets in your ascendant, wherever Libra, falls for you, it's opposing that house. So this would be almost kind of, revisiting, or even looking into like what those wounds are. But this is also a card of release, because she is actively releasing whatever is in this cup. And it's, we could say that she's planning on keeping this cup. We really honestly don't even know. But again, this is it's necessary for the process. And if it is a new path that you're going to be embarking on, or a new journey, or whatever, this part is very much mandatory. So, it's like releasing your baggage, releasing expectation, releasing old feelings, releasing, even grieving those things, mourning those things. I mean, grieving and mourning are very much, again, part of the process. And even if that is just, mourning the life that you thought you were going to have, or the relationship you thought you were going to have, or again, it could be a person, place, or thing. I keep looking at this orchid over here, and it's like growing new roots, which is so exciting. I kind of love actually that I saw that just as we're talking about, because truly like it's allowing new roots to grow. I love that. And it's paired with this Nine of Pentacles. Pentacles has to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. Where are we physically showing up in our lives? What are we physically putting our time into? It's our physical body and our health, our possessions, where we live. It's anything that we place value and worth on. Nines are individual completion. So the Nine of Pentacles is like financial independence. It's kind of that like single girl card, independence in general. But also, there's all of these different pentacles to choose from, right? And this is why the Five of Pentacles is so important. To allow yourself to get here, to allow yourself to recognize the gifts that you do have in your life, the support that you have in your life, your health, regardless of, kind of what condition it's in, your body is still functioning. You still have an opportunity to affect change in your own life, right? Like, again, this is you and you alone. And it's interesting because, so for the longest time with this card, and it's interesting, the birds just got really loud outside. Oh, they're fighting over the little bird bath that I have out there. And by bird bath, it's just a ceramic bowl, but it gets a lot of action. So anyway, for the longest time, I thought she was like choosing this pentacle, and then this dove just so happened to be on it. Like maybe it's a spirit guide or intuition even, guiding you to choose the thing. But I actually believe that she's encouraging this bird to fly, especially coming after the Five of Cups. This is literally releasing something, but also calling in the energy of the dove. Let's see. Dove, animal, totem. Purity of spirit, integrity, honesty, and deep inner peace. There's no coincidence that in the human realm, doves often represent, or doves have often been used to carry messages, literally. The dove encourages us to seek peace within ourselves, to cultivate a heart that is free from turmoil, and to extend an olive branch of reconciliation to others. Okay? I very much think we did a good job by putting those together. It's really your decision. It's really your choice. And more so than that, the energy is available to support you in releasing, in calling in, this inner peace and purity and, the other things that I said that I've already forgotten. Peace within ourselves, cultivate a heart that is free from turmoil. Like really allowing yourself to grieve. But again, right, I was saying like with the fives, they're not an energy to get stuck in. So it's not saying to get stuck in the grief process or to extend it any further than what needs to be, because I think too we get stuck in that thinking, I don't want to stop grieving because then I'll stop like honoring the thing, or I'll forget the thing that I am grieving. So we hold on to it, right? Like, and make it part of our personality and our identities. But all that does is just robs us from what is possible. And, like allowing ourselves to set the thing free, at least from us. I don't think that anything wants to be tethered to us, especially something where the energy is just no longer available, whether that is a relationship, whether that is, like a life, or an expectation of a life, whether that's even a loved one. I think once the energy of a thing has run its course, I think it wants us to move on from it. It wants us to be open to something new. And actually, speaking of something new, I wasn't even looking this far ahead. We have the Ace of Wands. I also feel like this is very much like in tune with what the message was, because first of all, this flame is like at their third eye going into their crown. And so, we have the purple of the third eye, or the, right? Indigo. Indigo is the third eye. Violet is the crown, which, like, what is the difference? Purpley. So anyway, we have, purple, we have the pink up here, we have some blue even over here. So this is, it is intuition. It is, just downloads coming in, and then even expressing yourself in however which way form that is. Aces are something new. Wands have to do with action, the motivation behind the actions that we take, communication, passion, creativity. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information or like experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works. We figure out what doesn't work. What do we like? What don't we like? That's information. That's, life lessons and experience. So there's an opportunity here for you to start a new thing. So I love that there's even that path back there. This new thing is just waiting for you, whether it's a zest for life, whether it's, creative passion or project, whether it's just, feeling that flame starting to ignite within you again. But this is definitely something new. It could even just be, with this oracle card talking about, expressing yourself, sharing your story, sharing your journey, even finding a group of people that are going through similar experiences, and it's, you all support each other in some capacity. But it also, again, it creates this, it reignites something within you, even allowing this to happen, right? I mean, like, don't like close yourself off to it. And then that's paired with the World card, which again has a lot of blue tones in it. Yellow also, which is solar plexus. I mean, we've got orange, yellow, green, blue. Actually, I mean, that's probably all of the colors of the chakra system. There's red on the bottom, at least up to blue. So blue here. So, like throat chakra down. So, and it's even kind of interesting that, the Ace of Wands that's paired with it has like the upper three chakras. It's interesting. But the World card is a true end of a cycle. This is the end of a journey. This is the end of whatever, journey that you have been on lately. Again, with this Five of Cups, there's this path back here, and we were saying it could be that you've been on this journey for a while. It could even be a new path. And I think both fit. But this is also, again, allowing a cycle to come to an end. That could be a way of being. That could be, a behavior pattern. It could be, the way that you've been going about things, whatever, right? And it's also that World card is possible. The energy of the World card is available, again, because this Ace of Wands shows up. So this new spark, this new, zest for life, this fire up under your ass comes, and it allows the end of the previous cycle to complete. And that's what should happen. Like our lives are just constant cycles, right? Like the Fool's journey. It's just a constant cycle of going through, like multiple side quests at one time that are all connected to, the main quest or whatever here, right? But those side quests should close out. Like when you get what you needed to get out of it, and you experienced what you needed to experience, and you've honored what you needed to honor, then the energy has been used. It's been fulfilled is the word that I was looking for. And when that energy is no longer available, that was available for the thing, it's time to move on. And that's because energy for the new thing has shown up, and it can't come in if we're still holding on to things that are just there. There's nothing there. So then we have the King of Wands. So we go from the Ace to the King. I love a progression, but I think too, like this is just telling you what is possible. Kings are the highest expression of the suit. Again, wands, all the things that we talked about with wands. So this is somebody who, for one, kings oversee a kingdom, right? People look to them for guidance, for, I almost said resolutions, but okay. Wisdom, even. Because like I said, with wands being experience and information, this is somebody who has been through everything from the Ace. So they have a lot of experience in their field. They're also an authority. So this could be having a leadership role in some capacity. This could be even, the leader of a community in some aspect. Maybe that has something to do with grieving or letting go. This could be somebody who shows up in your life and helps you through the process. And again, even this lion back here, to me in this card, this time that I'm seeing it, because this card has come up a few times throughout the reading so far, this feels like divine guidance. This is a card of Sagittarius, but lions are attached to Leo. So there could be a Leo around. I mean, there could be a Sagittarius too, definitely a fire sign, but whoever this lion is, it's like they brought you. Either they brought you to this person, or they brought this person to you, or they are helping you become this person. But also with this lion back there, I was like, I keep getting this feeling about there's no turning back. Because if there was a lion standing behind you, right, would you just be like, never mind, I don't really want to like move forward anymore. I'm just going to turn back around and walk towards the lion? I don't think so. Especially if it's like a wild lion, right? I mean, not like a little kitty cat or something, but like if there's a lion behind you, you would continue to move forward, because it's like, I don't want to be eaten by the lion. So it's almost kind of this feeling of like being bullied forward, but in the most loving way possible, because again, it's this energy of like, there is no turning back. It's scarier to turn back than it is to like continue to move forward, basically, is the feeling that I was getting out of the King of Wands. And then we have the Magician card. I love, look at this. Just look at this. This is why I love tarot. Look at the similarities. We have, this well here that they're dumping this liquid out into, right? And then we have this well here. How cool is that? This feels like being like in less control emotionally. It's almost like allowing your emotions to control you in some aspect. This feels like being in more control of your emotions. It's a 1, so it's a new beginning. We start with the Fool, which is 0. We move on to the Magician, which is 1. And the Magician says that you have exactly what you need in order to start the thing or manifest the thing that you want. we can't really see them, but there's all all four element symbols there. And traditionally in the Magician card, they have wands, cups, pentacles, and swords. They have everything that they need. So this is even drawing on your experience, especially with it being paired with a king cup. This is drawing on your experience and your skill set and using that to manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. And I always think of Harry Potter when the Magician card comes out, and specifically the Sword of Gryffindor, because the Sword of Gryffindor shows up to exactly who needs it at the exact time that they need it for the exact purpose that they need it, right? That's a Magician card. The Magician card says you have the right amount of energy, the right amount of resources, you have, the right mindset, regardless of how you think that is, but you have exactly what you need, and anything else that you need along the way will show up to you at the exact time that you need it for the exact purpose that you need it for. The only thing that you have to do is start. I love that. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. This is, the wheel is turning. I don't care where this card shows up. It's a good card for me. But it just basically says that the way that things have been is changing or will change. You may not even recognize your life in the next month, 6 months, a year. I first heard a year, good, bad, otherwise, right? But it's just however your life has been for the last little while, it's going to change. And like I said, I always see the Wheel of Fortune as being a good card. This is also Sagittarius. It's attached to Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of expansion and good things. So I always kind of give the example too of like back in 2021, I was laid off and I did basically nothing but sleep. I was so burnt out. Like the prior 5 years or so to that, 5 years were shit. And I never really kind of gave myself the time to heal from those things. And so I literally slept for 8 months. And I felt guilty. I felt, like I was wasting time, and I felt like I should be doing something, but there was nothing that I really wanted to do. And I was worried that like I wasn't going to like find something to do or figure out what I wanted to do next. But I kept getting these little birdies, speaking of, that would just, these feelings that were just like, rest now, because you're not going to have an abundance of time like you do now for however long. And so I did. I literally, like I said, I slept, I lounged around, I didn't really do anything for 8 months. And then I got this like overwhelming feeling to start my YouTube channel and start putting out videos. And the first videos that I released were for January of 2022, I believe. And it was such a mess. I was borderline embarrassed to even put those out. But I just, again, right, it felt good. It felt a little embarrassing, but it still felt good. And I knew that like right through doing things, through trying things, that I would figure out stuff, and I did. And anyway, so I went from having an abundance of time to literally none, and like having to schedule rest, like literally having to consciously make myself rest. So that's just one example of the wheel turning, right? I went from having an abundance of time to not having an abundance of time. But I do these YouTube videos, I do freelance work, like, stuff showed up for me to feel passionate about. And actually we have the 4 of Wands behind that, which is community, celebration. It's reaching a place of stability and having a firm foundation under you. Love that. I could keep going at the bottom of the deck, but we'll be here for like the next hour. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to go on this journey with you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.